Okay, hello class. Today we'll talk about the sea level rise analysis using remote sensing based on the Cooler Engine platform. We know that climate change has become a global issue. One of its primary impacts is a sea level rise. The main reason is due to the melting of polar ice caps and the thermal expansions due to a high temperature of seawater. It is due to rising global temperatures. Based on the graph, the sea level rise, you can see a linear trend of a sea level rise. The global warming main reason. The Earth's temperature is rising due to the greenhouse effect due to the human activities, which emit carbon emissions from industry and transportation. The increase of Earth's temperature can increase the thermal expansions, which leads to the expanse of ocean water, which leads to uh, sea level rise. And then the other factors of the rise of Earth's temperature is the ice melting on the glaciers and the polar ice caps. Based on the statistics, most people are affected by the rising of sea level around the South Asia and Southeast Asia region, which leads to 10 until 50 million people which are affected by the rising of sea level. There are some impact of sea level rise. First one is the coastal erosion, which leads to a destruction of coastal habitats like mangroves and swamps due to the intrusion of salt water from the sea into the groundwater. The intrusion of salt water into groundwater, it can lead to unusable of drinking water facilities. And then the saltwater intrusion can change also the marine and coastal ecosystem and the biodiversity the ecosystem has. It can lead to a degrading biodiversity. Like some fish or some plants cannot live under some circumstance like a higher salinity due to a saltwater intrusion. And then due to sea level rise, some people who live near the coastal area, they have to migrate. Tons of people are forced to migrate to submerged homes because their homes are submerged into became a water area due to the intrusion of seawater. Due to the sea level rise, which leads to a seawater intrusion. What should we do with the sea level rise. The first one is mitigations by involving the reducing greenhouse gas emissions as the root cause of sea level rise. And we have to create a flood resistant infrastructure, like by and then restoring natural habitats and strengthening the emergency preparedness due to the imminency of sea level rise. So we have to tackle the root cause by the greenhouse gas, and we have to adapt by building a flood resistant infrastructures and restoring natural habitats. The tool that we are using today is Google Earth Engine, and Google Earth Engine is different from Google Earth Pro. The Google Earth Pro is a software from Google which only used for spatial visualizations and no spatial analysis. But the Google Earth Engine is also a tool by Google, but it's JavaScript based, which you have to learn about JavaScript code. But the Google Earth Engine, you can access many datasets for free, and you can analyze more deeply, both visually and statistically, using Earth Engine, unlike the Google Earth Pro. The native programming language for Google Earth Engine is JavaScript. But if you already understand the Python, you can use also the Python programming language to learn about Google Earth Engine and to use Google Earth Engine on Jupyter Notebook. But the native of Google Earth Engine is JavaScript. The main constraint of learning about JavaScript coding is the case sensitive approach, which means if you have to write the code, you cannot write it with the capital letter like this because it will cause an error. It should be like this based on the reference or based on documentations of Google Engine. You cannot change the code with a different letter. The first step to use the Google Engine, you have to register to the Google Engine page using only an email and using the non-commercial use for the Google Engine. You can follow the steps based on our video on the YouTube. After you register to the Google Engine, the first thing you have to do is create an account name. And you cannot change later because it is a fixed name for your account. Like based on the Google Engine criteria, you cannot change the name of your username that it's created. So the account name is permanent. After we have already an account name, we can create a repository for this analysis. Repository is like a folder, and file is a script where you write the code for the analysis on Google Earth Engine. And then after we have already have the file, we can define the first thing is the area of interest. And we only choose the water area with the GRC global surface water mapping layers. We can only choose the water area. And then we use the HICOM data from hybrid coordinate erosion model. We use the sea surface elevation, and the name of the band that we use is the surface elevation. To use this data, you have to filter based on the date that you want to analyze, and then you filter the bounds, the boundary or the boundary of the location you want to use. And then this data has low resolution with 1,906 meter per pixels. So we need to improve the data to make it more readable. After we fix the data, we can compare the mean of the sea level between the dates or the year or different year between, let's say, with a 10-year gap. And then this is the code that I've already wrote on the slide, and we will use this code later on. We use three different time, the 2000 and 2010 and 2020, and we will find the difference between the sea level rise. All right. The first thing is you have to go to the code.engine.google.com. After you've already the account name and you've already registered to Code Engine, the first step is to create a repository and file. To create a repository, we can click New and Repository. We go to the scripts, New and Repository. Name the repository. We can only use a letter, a number in the front, and no space. Let's say if we name the repository is you can see the names must start with letter like this C, but only contains letter numbers, dash, or underscores, which means you cannot have any space. But you can use a dash or the underscore. After you change the space using dash, you can create the repository. And then we can create a file by clicking the scripts, new, and then file. And then we find the repository name, the sea level rise analysis. Let's say we name it as after we've named the script, then we find the script. And then you should click the script of the sea level because you can see this is still use script and the of them is still use script. And then after we click the script of sea level, the name of the script is changed to the script of sea level. Okay. After we define the repository and file name, we can define the water area. We can use the map let's say we want to analyze the coastal area. We can choose the area by using the draw rectangle. And then we define the area. And then we can change the name of the variable from geometry. So let's say we change the name to the area of interest or AOI. So this is we can still see the length of the area of interest, but how do we define only the water area? We can use the GRC Global Surface Water Mapping Layers. You can choose the GRC global surface and water mapping layers, and then we can click the dataset in the catalog page. To use this data, you can copy the engine snip. Let's say we name it as the variable of water. And then we choose the occurrence bands, which the frequency with which water was present, the use of percentage, which means it's a probability of whether the area is water or not. Let's say you want to choose the area with a probability of, if it's water, it's higher than 50% of probability if it's water or not. Use the greater than or GT code, GT function. We use the GT function to define the probability of whether it is water or not. And then we use the self mask to choose only the water area. And then we click by the area of interest. Or define the water area on only this area of interest. And then we can click save. And then after we define the water area, we can use the sea level rise data. Based on the sea surface elevation, you can use the hybrid coordinate ocean model, sea surface elevation. Copy the name of the dataset. And then we view the data set in the catalog page. Okay, to use the data, we can copy the Earth engine snip. The first one is the year 2000. Just the bands of the surface elevation. It's on the millimeter unit. And we filter by the boundaries. And then we define by the date of a year from the 1st January until the 31st December. So this is the start date, and then is this is the end date of the year of 2000. And then we can visualize the sea level of the year 2000. You can see the data is only on the top, not the bottom. Why? Because the data has a low resolution. To define the low area, we can use the interpolation method. To do the interpolation, we have to sampling the data and then finding the mean and standard deviation, and then after that, we can use the interpolation method using the inverse distance. First, we have to sample the sea level of the year 2000. And then we define the resolution. Let's say we want to have the resolution by 100 meters. You want to sample the latitude, longitude, and the sea surface elevation on the sample point. Just the sea level based on the surface elevation band. And then we define the mean of the sea level. We use the reduce recurrent method, and then we choose the reducer of mean. To find the mean, we use the e dot reducer dot mean. And in this scale, we can define based on the resolution of the pixel size of the actual data. If the result is null, we can change the scale, let's say to 100 maybe, to define a better sampling. And this level is 682 millimeters. After we define the mean of sea level, we define also the standard deviation. You can use the above code. But we change the mean into the standard deviation. We find to interpolate data. We use the inverse distance method. The first one is range. To define the range, we can use the above, the below ruler. Let's say this is 5 kilometers. Then let's say it is 15 or 20 kilometers. So the range of the interpolations will be on, say, 20 kilometers. And for the range, we use the meter unit. When the first data is only on the top, and the interpolated data, we can see it's cover the whole of the area of interest. Then we can visualize the data by using the visualization parameters. We can click the custom to stretch until 100%. We can use the gradually increasing sea level. Let's say from let's say the lowest is blue, and then let's say the lowest is blue and the highest is the red. Okay, then we can click the import, and we can close the parameters. The default name is image with param. If we click run again, data will be white again. To define the visualization parameter, we can use the image visualization parameters, and then we define the layer's name. To define the 2020 and the 2010, we can change the code by the only the year. To change the code easier, we can use the notepad. So we can see an increase of sea level. And then we can click import and close. And the name of the visualization parameter is the second image visualization parameters. Okay, then can go to the 2020. Okay, the reason why we can use the 22 data because this is our area of interest, but this is the real data. If we want to use the data, we can just adjust the area of interest, and then we can click later. And it's only for the 2020 data. But at the end, we can still click on the first AOI, which is only for the 2020 data. Okay, after we get the 2020 data, we want to download the raster data of this spatial visualization. Let's say we want to download the 2020 data. To export the data, we use the image name or the data that we want to download, and then we define the region or the area of interest, and then the name of the data. and the coordinate reference system to make the data to be georeference, and then the scale of the or the resolution of the data. Let's say we want to 100 meters, you can click save, and then we run. Then we click the task, click the unsubmitted task, we run, and then the data will be on our Google Drive. And we click run. You can see that the highest of sea level is on the 20 and 10, and it's due to the triple dip of La Nina on 1998 until 2001 and 2020 until 2023. La Nina was low sea surface temperature, meaning no thermal expansions. So the sea level will be higher on the 2010 and then the year 1000 and then the year of 2020. So why it's lower on the 2020? Because there is a La Nina phenomenon which causes a low sea surface temperature. This means the temperature is the main factor causing a sea level rise. The data is on a GeoTIFF file or a raster file. You can download it. And if we want to visualize using QGIS or ArcGIS, we can just input the data to the QGIS or the ArcGIS. And it's already georeference. The Equalog engine, we can use the same code by clicking the get link, and I will share the link. You just have to use the link. Let's say you want to use the code that we have been code. To use the data, we just have to change the geometry. By clicking the geometry imports, let's say we want to change the AOI. We just have to, let's say this, and then we change this. We just have to click run. and it will change based on the area. And then we want to change again, let's say on different area. You just have to click the area of interest and we can drag the area. We can also change the size of the area of interest. Let's say we want to change to this, and then we can click run. And the result is as follows. So we just have to use the code, use the link, and you can use the geometry imports. You can drag anywhere you want, and you can change the area of the geometry imports, and you can get different data of sea level. The export the data or the rest of it we've already downloaded. We can use. We have to define if you want to use the QGIS to is the result of the data. And it's always on a grayscale, not color code. So the code is we can use the code, we can change the area of interest by dragging the area of interest and you can choose different area. And then you can also download the area to visualize it on QGIS or on ArcGIS. So that we can see the sea level rise is already happening. But to do a low temperature on 2020 and until 2023, it goes a lower temperature and change the sea level back to the normal. Okay. So we can now that the main factor of sea level rise is the increasing temperature. Okay. If you have any further questions, you can also ask on the WhatsApp group, and then the attendance link and also the certificate link will be provided on the WhatsApp group. Okay, thank you. We'll close this meeting.